Well, I owned the pharmacy. I took Dr. Badger's office, and I ended up having to close it down. Well, after I closed it down, she solicited my services to come over there and fill prescriptions for me. Now, I'm not a pharmacist, but I'm more or less just a pharmacy tech. But I'm going to tell you what, the prescriptions that she writes are all legitimate, but the amount of stuff that she writes, if a person took them the way they prescribed, they wouldn't live 2 hours. Because she'll write OxyContin 60s or 80s, 180 of them with enough to 6 a day, and then write oxycodone for breakthrough pain, and write 240 of them, which is another 8 a day. If someone took, and then she'll write Xanax, 140 of them, which is 4 times a day. If someone took all that medical, their respiration would stop. They couldn't breathe.
And is that so they can sell half of them to pay her fee to come back?
Actually,
because I know that's going on.
well, she knows what's going on, but she doesn't say that. She just writes way too many pills. And I had a investigator come over to my pharmacy and said, what she's writing for is not illegal, but the amount that she's writing will cause overdoses. And so what happens is they'll come in there and they've got to pay $250 to see her.
Right.
And then she'll write them a prescription, and they'll go right over in the other corner, and they'll fill the prescriptions that she owns.
Right.
What corner? Oh, inside there.
Yeah, I mean, you walk right next door, and you walk right next door, and she'll fill your pills.
Does she actually? Fill them herself, or does Daryl do that?
Yep.
People are sure getting loud.
So how can you help us?
So, what connection does she have with the one in the MediMart place? Because sometimes her patients go there to get pills.
See,
But if they have insurance,
the reason,
it seems like they go there.
Exactly. But she doesn't have a billing code to be able to bill Medicare and Medicaid.
Okay.
She didn't have a prescription number. So anybody that is on Medicare and Medicaid, they probably got legitimate pain, but she can't bill it, and she doesn't want to bill it, because if you bill it, then they have certain maximums that you can charge for an office visit, that you can charge for the pills. So she doesn't want to bill it. She wants to be able to claim that $250 every time they come in, and then send them right next door to her pill shop and buy the pills that are jacked up, And there are people, most of the people that came in there when I worked there were actually from Kentucky and West Virginia, but they'd have man and wife come in, and both of them would buy OxyContin 80s, OxyContin 40s, then buy the oxycodone 15s or 30s, and then buy the Xanax. And each one of them would spend $2,000, the man and the wife. And they were elderly. I'm talking 70 years old. They'd both spend, they'd whip out a bundle of money and just pay me. And
they have to be selling the pills.
Well, yeah.
To pay her fee. And that's why she's giving them so much.
And a lot of those people eat a few and sell a few.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Do you have any knowledge if we're working through a local pharmacy too?
Well, he was talking about that, but see, when they go there to MediMart, for her, it's called Prime Pharmacy. And I don't know what that means. Her patients, when they go to MediMart, it's called Prime.
I know a guy that was driven off their lot last week, MediMart.
What?
Just being there. I'm serious.
Like, who drove him off? The owner?
Pharmacy.
Was he trying to get a prescription filled? Or was he just...
Well, if they're sending them down there under a secondary name for Pharmacy Prime, then what they've done is that they went together and got a Medicare and Medicaid billing system or a billing number, and she's sending them patients down there, and maybe escaping a little bit of the culpability because they're still.
I wondered if it was a way of spreading the prescriptions out over several pharmacies.
No, it just has to do with billing. It doesn't mean spread them out because any cash she does right there.
Yeah.
Can you make names up?
What investigator came and talked to you? Was he DEA?
No, the investigator.
Pharmacy board?
Yeah. Ohio Board of Pharmacy, he was...
Probably Kevin, Joe Kinnear, maybe?
No, it wasn't Joe. No. Joe was he was my agent here, but this investigator, his name was McDonald, And he was not only a pharmacist, but he was a physician also.
Okay.
And the reason they came there was because in the early part of my pharmacy and not being familiar with her, we filled a few of her prescriptions. So they came and looked through all my prescriptions and realized that, after we figured out what was going on, because we were sold product that she was brought in by the hospital to be a pain management specialist because there were too many pill factories out there, and that the hospital asked her to go to school to be a pain management doctor, and that they were going to work a deal where they'd send her all the pain management pills. Well, I figured out right soon that wasn't happening, because we weren't getting any referrals from any doctors in Portsmouth. These people were all from West Virginia, Kentucky, and around here, and they would come in, pay the $250. She'd walk in and say, "What do you want?" And they'd tell her, and she'd bill it. No. When I first came to work there, I was told that, there was going to be a background check, which they did do a background check, but that there was going to be X-rays, and MRIs, and all this stuff to prove back pain and all that.
Here?
Was going to be ordered on the patient.
Yeah.
And it was. And she'd just say, "What do you want?"
Did she have, so she would bill them without proof? They didn't have proof? Or did she require that they just bring it in?
I think that it really didn't matter.
When did you work here? What years?
Oh, it's been about a year ago.
Really? Okay. And where's your pharmacy? You own a pharmacy?
I did.
No, you did own a pharmacy. What was the pharmacy's name?
Doc's prescription.
I've seen that before on Oars, and I wondered what that was.
In Dr. Blavatsky's medical building.
Yeah. Because I've seen that on Oars before, but then I actually was going to call there once, and I called Stakers, and they said, "Oh, it's closed now," or whatever. So.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel for Volkman, or?